As a skincare business owner, you not only have to keep track of your product inventory, but also your ingredient inventory, as it all goes towards your cost of sales and your accounting figures. I used to do this with a huge spreadsheet, but with the amount of different ingredients and all the manual entries I had to make, it was getting to be too difficult to keep track of everything, and it led to errors. I found an amazing solution to this though, and I'm going to show you how to keep track of all of your inventory and even do your pricing now with this really cool software. The software I'm talking about is Craftybase. Craftybase is really good for pricing help. If you don't know how to price your products for either retail or for wholesale, you just want to know what margin equates to what money, then Craftybase can help you with this really easily. They also total up all the cost of goods sold, because as I'll show you in a moment, you can input all of your materials, so no matter how much you've used of an ingredient, you know the value of what you've got left at any point in time. You've got all the traceability of all of your products, so all your SKUs, all your batch numbers, everything, so if anyone complains about a product, you can find that easily. And you've got all your product and order management. It all comes into Craftybase. You can link it with your website. You can track all of your expenses. You've got all your automated inventory management, so when you sell a product on your website, it will update on Craftybase and you'll have the actual cost of goods sold there linked. And then you've got all these different reports that you can use depending on what you want to see, really. You can see pretty much anything depending on what tier you're on with Craftybase. And you can also manage your locations, so if you've got stock at different locations, such as a warehouse or your home, or another warehouse, or if you wholesale to shops, etc., you can track it all in Craftybase there. And also do stock taking, which is super important, because you're not just taking the stock of your finished products, you're taking the stock of all your ingredients, so you know when to reorder, so that when you're making a batch of products you haven't run out of anything, you've got exactly what you need. So what I'm going to do now is do a demo of Craftybase and how I use it, and hopefully it'll help. There are various tiers for Craftybase. You'd need to pick the one that's right for you, but for now you can get a free 14-day trial if you click the link below in my description, and you don't need to enter any credit card details at all. It's completely free for 14 days, so give it a go and see how it will work for your business, because I just love it. So when you first log on to Craftybase, you'll see a page like this, and this is your dashboard. I've selected a date in the past here just so it's blank at the moment, but here you'll show all your expenses broken down, and you can add more categories to this, and your orders and order revenue and the cost of those materials over a period of time. You can change that period of time here. Then you've got your latest activity, and you can toggle this to be expenses, orders, manufacturers, products, materials, whatever you like. And that's basically where you'll see your day-to-days. Then you've got all these tabs at the top, and each one of these is for a particular purpose. So what I'm going to do is take you through my own workflow of Craftybase and show you how I account for the cost of ingredients for products that I sell, and also products that I use for YouTube and Patreon, and then hopefully this will give you some ideas of how you might like to use it and how it could help your business. So the way Craftybase works is that you input all of your materials and then you allocate them to a recipe or a formula, and then you allocate that to a product. And then every time you make that product, you create what's called a manufacture, and this will be you creating your batch of products. And then what this does is it inputs to your inventory and updates that across all your platforms so that you know how much you've got in stock of both your finished products and your inventory of your ingredients. So it's very, very clever, and it also calculates your cost of goods sold. So the way we input materials is either manual if you're first starting out, or we can add an expense. So I'm going to do this by adding an expense, and this is an invoice I had from a manufacturer just this week. So I'm going to put the purchase date. You can put a code if you like, and then you can select the vendor. I've already got the vendors in Craftybase, so I'm going to select Aromantic because I've already got them there. And then the category is materials. And then if you've already got a material in your materials inventory, then you can start typing here and it should find it, and then select. And then you need to add your tracking quantity. Now, I'll go over these a bit in a moment, but this is how you're going to track the amount of that ingredient that you're purchasing. So it might be an item if it's a bottle or a container, or in grams if it's something like a liquid or an ingredient product. So I'm going to put 10 grams in here because I'm ordering 10 grams, and the cost of that, excluding VAT, on my invoice was £4.50. And then you can put any notes here that you like, and then just add expense item. And then you can see it's populated that line of the invoice, and it's given me a cost per gram because I choose grams as my unit cost. Then we're going to add another expense item. This one I don't already have in my materials inventory, so I'm going to add a new material. And to do this, you just click here, and this brings up your material adding form. And I'm going to add my new material. Just type it in there. You can add a SKU if you want. You can add an image if you want. I don't tend to do this for ingredients. And then you need to tick this box up here. This ensures that it tracks this inventory when you make products. And then you want to choose your tracking unit. Now, if it's a bottle or a jar, like I said, you'd have a tracking unit of an item, and you could have a purchase unit of either one item or of 10 items, etc. Or you could do grams, and your purchase units are normally in 1 kilo. I tend to make it simple because I buy in different amounts each time, and make my tracking unit a gram and my purchasing unit a gram. For more information, you can just click on the little question marks. So you can see down the bottom there, it says 1 gram equals 1 gram. And then you can set your low stock unit below, and that's the point at which Craftybase will tell you that you need to restock that ingredient. So I don't buy this that often, so I think I'll just pop in 5. Then go to additional information. Category here. I do have a category for waxes, so I'm going to pop it in that category. If I start typing, it should come up. Put it in there, set it to active. I am not doing a stock take at this point in time, so I'm going to leave that blank. Preferred vendors, I got this from Aromantic, it's already on my system. And then they have a code as well. And then I can write a description there if I want to, but I'm just going to save material. And then it takes you back to this page where you can input how much you purchased and the total cost. So for this, it was 50 grams and a total cost of £5.50, excluding VAT. And then any notes and add expense item. And that's all I purchased from them. So I just need to go in and fill in the tax that I paid now, and any discounts and shipping. So tax was £2.80 and shipping was £4. And then you just need to check the amount at the bottom totals what you're seeing on your invoice so that it's all correct. And then you can add any notes, tick that it's paid if it's paid, select from the source drop down if you need to, and save expense. And that is how you add an expense in Craftybase. If you want to, you can add an attachment and upload a picture of your invoice. And now if we go to materials and we search in waxes, you just tick the box. I've created these categories myself, and you filter, and you can see that the new product we added is there, and we can see all the information about it. Okay, so this is basically our materials, and if we want to filter out wax and show everything, we can just untick that and click filter again, and then you'll see everything pop up. And then you can scroll down and everything is in alphabetical order, so it's easy for you to find, and then you'll have all your categories, no matter how you organise it, will all be down the side so you can quickly find things. So now what we want to do is we want to add a product, and then we will associate some ingredients with that product. So you go up here and you click on products, and then we just wait for that to load. And you'll see here I've got a number of products. These aren't cosmetics, they're just random things I sell at the moment, but they're all listed here. And then if they have the formula attached to them, they will have the little formulation glass icon next to them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new product, because I made a perfume on YouTube the other day and I need to account for that because I used for some ingredients to make it. So in order to do that, I'm going to click on add product, and I'm going to show you how I add products for both making a product to sell and using it on YouTube. So for this one, I'm using it on YouTube. So I always start the product name with YouTube. This way I can easily find it because it's all in alphabetical order. And then I'll just write perfume because that's what I made. Like so. Spell it right. And then if I was making this for sale, I'd add a picture and I'd add a SKU. Note that if you've already put products in Shopify or Etsy and you've linked it with Craftybase, these will naturally come over on their own, so you won't need to manually add them like this. But for manually adding products, this is how we do it. And then I didn't mean to add a low stock unit. You can add that there if you want, but for the purpose of a YouTube product, I don't need to, but I will add a starting quantity of 1 item. Materials cost, I don't know yet because I haven't added a recipe, so I'll leave that as is. And then additional details down here, if you just click the cross. The category is YouTube, or at least it is for me. It'll be whatever you need it to be. And then you can write a little description in there if you want to. So I just write for YouTube, or you could write for personal use. And then set it as active. Measurement unit is item because it is 1 item. It's a finished product. And then save product. And then you'll see all of the information here. And then down the bottom, you have basically where it would help you to calculate your prices. And then in the right here, it'll give you your gross revenue, expenses, materials cost, gross profit, etc. Little summary. So what we need to do next is allocate a recipe to the product. So we do this by going to recipe and clicking the little cross icon. And then what that will allow you to do is associate some of your materials with that product. So we've got the product name, the manufacturer quantity. For the purpose of YouTube, I only made one, so it will be one item. I'm not going to put an amount of time because I'm not calculating labour for this. And then you just go to materials and add materials, start typing, and it should find them automatically because they'll be in your materials list. Type in the amount you used. So in my case, it was 40 grams of perfumer's alcohol and then 10 grams of fragrance. If you were doing this for a product you were selling, you would also include your jars, your labels, anything used to create that product, even if it wasn't an ingredient, because those would still be materials. So your materials would still include things like labels from your label printer and bottles and lids and things like that. Perhaps boxes if you put them in a nice box. So you click save with that, and then it will give you your total cost for making that product. And then that is associated with making that product. And if you were selling it, those would be your cost of goods sold. Obviously, if this is a batch that you're making and you're making more than one, then it would divide it between that batch. And then you can use these down here to help calculate your margins, and you can also include labour costs and things like that. So now that you've created a product and you've entered some materials, what we need to do is create a manufacture. And this is basically whenever you need to make more of your products, you will make a new batch. And to do that, we go up to manufactures and click on that. And then that will allow us to add in the batch of products that we're making so that it both updates our inventory of our final products so that we know how many we've got for sale, but it will also update our ingredients inventory to take those ingredients from the materials inventory so that we know our cost of goods sold. And then those are accounted for when you actually sell the item or write it off, etc. So to add a manufacturer, first we need to click in here and type in the product, and then it should find it automatically. And there we go, found perfume. And then the date of manufacture, I'm just going to put as today. I could put a batch code there if I wanted, but because this is just for YouTube, I'm not going to bother. Predicted quantity, this is how many you think you'll make. And then your actual quantity, I'm just doing one. It's got your recipe there. And then go to additional details. You can add your minutes that it took you to make it and any notes, and then it'll work out your labour cost for that batch. And then you can just click save manufacture. And there we go. You have your quantity of 1, and now that's added to your finished product units. But what we need to do when we make a product for YouTube or personal use that isn't for sale is we need to then take it out of inventory again to ensure that it's registered in our cost of sales, because cost of sales are only registered when the item is removed from your inventory. So to do that, we need to go to adjustments. So I'll go up here to products and just check that it has registered in my products list, and there it is at the bottom. And then you can click on that. And then it takes you to the products page where you can click on adjustments and add inventory adjustment. And then you'll see this box here where it has adjustment, and then just add a minus figure until the new quantity box shows 0. Because it's important that you take everything out of there so that there's nothing left in stock of that item. And then you can add any notes in the note box and just search for category. And I've created a category for expenses called YouTube products so that I know exactly how much money I spend on ingredients for making YouTube products. And then I've got another category for materials that we used for products I sell. So everything's categorized, and then that makes it easier to see how much money you're spending on ingredients for each different part of your business. So then we go back into products, and you can see that YouTube perfume is still there. All you need to do is tick at the side there, the little box, and tick archived and update. And all this does is archive any products that you use for personal use, YouTube, Patreon, anything like that, that you aren't selling, that you don't want on your product list. So lastly, we're going to go to reports, and this is where you'll see everything that you can do with Craftybase. Basically, there's a report for anything that you want to see. You can categorize it all exactly as you want to, just like I said before, so that you can keep track of all of your inventory across loads of different sections of your business. It's really, really useful. You can do so much with it. But the basis of Craftybase is to link with your website and keep your inventory up to date. Keep all of your prices accurate by linking your products to a recipe which links to your materials, so that all of your inventory across your finished products and your ingredients is accurate. And it will also give you the ability to do stock takes regularly, where you don't take all of your inventory, but just a portion of it on a sort of weekly or bi-weekly basis, to just check that you're accurate going forward. And I tell you what, it's so much better than using an Excel spreadsheet. It saves you so much time, and it also helps you get the best prices and the best margins for your product, and you can see your gross margin at a glance at any time. So I highly recommend it. If you do want to try it out, then like I said, there's a free trial. You just need to click the link in my description and you get that completely free. No credit card details are required or anything. And see how you like it. I absolutely love it, and it's just transformed my business. So I hope you like it as much as I do. If you have any questions about it, then do comment below, and I'll see you in the next video.